I think the ability to find something that surprises you and raises your spirits and makes you go, oh wow, is always important. And it's called the Secret Lake for a reason. It's really unexpected that something so beautiful is going to be found behind the really grim sort of recycling yards and the landfill tip, and the fact it's not properly signposted, and the fact it's never properly been regularised. And it was a bit of a mess, but a mess is also a good thing, because through that evolution and that mess and that change, you sort of suddenly start to understand the pattern of the community, the pattern of nature, and how it re-establishes.
Yeah, I've got memories from 7 years old. I've got memory of being a teenager, going through high school, after high school, becoming a dad. I've got memories all my life on here.
My earliest memory of the lake was when me and my 2-year-old daughter moved to Gorton 2012. And to find this space, this solitude, this beautiful area so close to our house, and just that was my earliest memory, standing on the edge, looking out and feeling really calm, really peaceful.
Apart from the industrial estate in the background, I mean, you can come here on a Sunday and not really hear anything, so it's very good for people's health. You see people working here all the time as well, which is nice to see.
It provides so much to so many people. People who want to fish, people who want to have picnics, people who want to just come here, particularly, and come here and just get away from everything.
So this used to be a very marshy area. It's in the name, Levenshulme. It means an island in a lake sort of thing, owned by Leo Wayne, going back in history. So it's always been a kind of a dampish sort of a place. So the ponds that probably preceded the lakes probably go back almost to prehistory, and there are streams which still flow across Levenshulme from there and from other areas that still flow but are hidden underground in culverts and pipes and tunnels, but they pop up every so often. By 1850, the main reservoirs, the ones that are still there, had been formed. The edges had been created. They'd probably been lined with clay to stop the water flowing away too fast, and then later on a print works developed, and by printing we mean cloth printing works and also bleach works, and obviously that's the heritage of Manchester as the textile capital. Obviously the textile industry failed eventually, so by about 1960 or 1970, it had been taken over by a big multinational, Tootles, which is had factories all over the world, and then slowly declined, and the print works that serviced, the reservoir service closed about 1980-ish, and then subsequent to that, the 4 remaining reservoirs, 2 were filled in, so now we have the Secret Lake and the little lake behind, and that's the only remnant of it.
The lake itself was originally used for print works as a water supply, and but over many decades now, it has truly naturalised, and so. At the other end to where we're sitting, there's reed beds, there's water lilies, there's shrub and scrub land around. There's very mature trees. I think the density of the variety of the natural environment here is certainly unique in the area and absolutely worth protecting.
There's loads of wildlife here, and there is this heron who is just absolutely hilarious. And every time you come, you walk round and you'll just kind of see it like against the reeds, and then when you get too close, off it goes. But it's absolutely beautiful.
At the moment, there's a huge biodiversity, and it's been scheduled as an opportunity area for biodiversity by the council or by the council of advisors, the Greater Manchester Ecology Unit. It's got loads of butterflies this year. It's got lots of water birds. But interestingly, they've always been there. I've got a picture from the 1960s of swans on one of the reservoirs, and so there are still swans that visit. But obviously the coots and mallards and things like that are commonly there. So it's an ecosystem, really, and the characteristic of still water, so water that's not flowing, is really rare. Most water is sort of used. It's only in reservoirs, really, in Greater Manchester you have that. So this is a sort of, or fishing ponds. So it's quite a rare ecosystem in that way, I think. Unique, really, in many ways.
There's always been the community looking after it, but that community has changed as the years have gone on. So, for example, when I first of all came down here, you'd see the same like bunches of people all the time, clearing the place back, trying to make it nicer. There was actually a guy, I think he was a window cleaner, and he does the windows for Easter's East in town, and they gave him all the massive flower pots, and they were all put around the lake to make it look more appealing so people could use it more. They would literally, like where it was muddy, put stuff down so people could, and this was all just people volunteering, and just, my daughter, when she was about 4, did all these posters about keeping it clean and litter, and we put them up around but the people involved have changed, but the commitment to it seems to have remained the same.
I took it upon myself to start litter picking at the lake every week. So I tend to come up here now. I mean, it's still nice to come here, and it's a space which is good for your mental health, as we say nowadays, and all that kind of stuff. But mainly I come here because I'm working here. I come up once a week and depending what happens and how much litter there is, maybe 1 or 2 hours here clearing up.
What's been proposed is to build 200 houses or apartments all around the lake, all around the main lake. So they're going to build an access road that is like a really long snake that goes from the north right across the site. And then they're going to build little cul-de-sacs coming off that to cram as many houses as possible. At the end of the main lake, they're going to build a low-rise apartment block about 3 or 4 stories high with small flats in them, which will totally change the look of it. They're going to try and, they say they will maintain public access, but the amount of space between the water and the privatised properties that are going to be built there is going to be very little.
There's lots of light industrial land and other bits and pieces of land around the area that I think would be far more suitable and wouldn't have the negative impacts that this development would have. And lots of land, other bits of land that basically you look at them and go, well, that's brownfield site, fine. There's nothing particularly of merit to it. It just needs, it's begging for redevelopment. Whereas you look at this side and you think, wow, look at the benefit you've got here.
They're saying that they're going to do things for the local community like fishing and swimming and stuff, which already happens, and they're already backtracking on things like that now. We're fairly certain that if they did put houses along one side, there's absolutely no way that the public would be allowed to use the lake. So I think that it's just a case that this will be in phases. The houses will be first, the lake will be closed, and then probably try and build houses on the other side of it as well. And it's concerning for the actual lake because we don't believe what they're saying. It doesn't make sense. And then you've got the larger picture, which is the traffic. They're going to destroy such literal wildlife that has been able to develop for 20 years and destroy it all. And this isn't replaceable. It's not replaceable by planting a tree somewhere else.
Ideally, I would like the owners, who are not poor people, to gift it. I think the current owner paid about £300,000 for the whole site from his father back in 2008 or something like that, 2005. That's the price of one terraced house in Levenshulme now. So the whole place, he could donate, and that it could become a wonderful resource. There is obviously Highfield Country Park, there's some other projects around, there's some local schools. There could well be lots of vehicles, as in organisations that could be formed or exist already to manage that space, or it could be adopted by Stockport Council as a sort of park. There's a tension about over-regularising it through those things, but if it could become a country park, that would be obviously lovely. It would obviously be lovely to be left alone for another 20 years, and that would be a win, to block the development now. But it is really hard in this world where even the Labour Party is talking about growth, and we all need houses and all that sort of thing to stop these sorts of developments, and it is privately owned, and you can't just confiscate land from people. And there is a risk that if I was the owner, I might say, well, okay, I'm going to fence it. I'm just going to stop all these people using it. If I can't build on it, I'll just stop access. But arguably, that wouldn't be a bad thing for the biodiversity. So let's see but if nothing else, let's celebrate it now and enjoy it now and fight for it now.
You got stones. I fall down there.
Secret Lake Stories was produced by Emily Zurowski for Levenshulme Old Library. The executive producer was Richard V. Hurst. It was recorded on location in 2025 at the Secret Lake and Levenshulme Old Library. Thank you to Jez, Claire, Daniel, Richard and Jeremy for sharing their stories. To find out more, visit levenshulmeoldlibrary.org.uk.